It was beautiful. It gives me great pleasure to now give you guys the opportunity to speak to our second team, which is Team Ultra Trail. So we've got 5 runners here from that team. It's going to be the same format as before. So I'm just going to do a little introduction of each of the athletes, just to refresh on from last night and ask them one question. And then again, you guys will have the opportunity to speak with them. The athletes have to go back after that and relax and prepare for the challenge. They need to go to bed quite early tonight because it's an early start for them. So please ask them your questions and take this opportunity to get as much info as you can. So Team Ultra Trail, 4 guys and one substitute as well. These are some of the best ultra trail runners in the world here. So amazing guys. The first one I'd like to introduce to you was in the Special Forces in Japan, in the army, and they had a marathon in the military, and this guy joined it and won his first ever race. And from that moment on, he's been a runner. He's transferred into the trail. In 2013, he was Japanese Trail Runner of the Year. Kota Araki from Japan, could you please come up? Kota-san. Please. First of all, Kota came all the way from Japan, first time in Europe. So thank you very much, Kota-san, for coming. The question is, it's the first time in Europe, first time coming to Europe, first time in Chamonix, and it's a big challenge. So how does it feel coming here for the first time?
モンブランっていう夢のレースに出れるので、それがすごく、あとトップランナーの人たちと一緒に走れるのがすごく嬉しいです。それで今回そのモンブランの一周ということで、やっぱしかも最初の走者ということで、すごく緊張感はありますけれども、1秒でも速く走って次の3人にしっかり余裕を持たせた走りができればと思います。
Yeah, Kota said, first of all, it's a great honor to join this race together with top athlete. Also, it is one of his dream to run Mont Blanc with top athlete. So he's so excited now and for the race. And actually, when he was in Japan, he used to race as a relay. It's called as Ekiden in Japan. So many people relay race, and in the end they are going to reach the target. So he said for the race, he will do his best and as much as fast to give the relay to the next runner. So he will his best run as much as possible.
Kota, I actually saw him on the course on Wednesday doing the start of the relay. He's quick, very quick. So we watch out for him. The next runner is a veteran of the trail running sport. He's been competing for over 10 years now. He's run just about every race there is to win in France. Won the Leadville 100. Thomas Laurent. Thanks, Tom. So as I said, you've been in the sport for a long time. So you've seen the sport progress over the 10 years. I mean, how's it changed and how have you seen the sport change over that time that you've been involved in trail running?
Alors, ça fait 10 ans que tu pratiques les trails, donc tu es un vétéran dans le sport. Depuis les dernières 10 ans, comment est-ce que tu vois la progression dans le sport?
Je suis pas encore vétéran. Non, depuis 10 ans, ça a beaucoup changé parce qu'il y a beaucoup plus de courses, beaucoup plus de pratiquants. Maintenant, ça a beaucoup changé aussi parce que beaucoup de marques sont venues et on fait énormément évoluer le matériel. Là, maintenant, c'est vrai que du coup, on est quand même beaucoup plus équipé maintenant et mieux équipé qu'il y a 10 ans.
So trail running over the past 10 years obviously has become more and more popular in Europe and in the world, and so there are many more elite athletes and runners in general. So the gear is evolving and being lighter and more technical.
Which is very impressive. He's come second in the UTMB, also second in Comrades, so he's won big races around the world. Jonas Butt, can you come up please? Thank you. Jonas, there's an interesting race that you're setting up in Sweden called the Ultra Vasant. I talked actually to Magnus from Sweden last night about it, and I think Holly from Team Enduro is running it next year, and I think Xavier's maybe even done the cross-country course of the race, but it's a new ultra trail in Sweden that Jonas has set up. So my question is, how has that helped to grow the profile? You know, what do you expect of this, and how that helped grow the profile of the sport in Sweden? And I heard it sold out very quickly. So.
Yes, I think the interest for trail running in Sweden has just been exploding the last years. We started to introduce the race in August last year, and 1 month later we opened the entry for the race. And yes, it was sold out in 30 minutes. So it would be 1,000 runners would be run this first race. So it's going to be a really interesting race, and many good runners will run this race also. So I hope it will be a good race.
And can you just tell me quickly what's so special about the race?
It's had a long tradition because we have a ski race in the winter where it's about 65,000 skiers will ski one of the race. And it's almost 90 years old, the ski competition. And during the summer we have a cycling competition the week before the run. It's over 20,000 will be cycling the race also. And it's a lot of tradition to do this course in Sweden. So I think it will be interesting.
Thanks, Jonas. Our last runner on the team recorded the fastest ever time in the UTMB last year. Current winner of the UTMB. He also won the CCC in 2011. And I hear he's going to give the TDS a go this year. Xavier Thevenard. You've won now this UTMB. You've also won the CCC, and the third one in the family is the TDS, which you'll be taking on this year. How does that compare? How does that compare to the challenge that you'll face here? How is it different? And do you feel comfortable in this Mount Blanc region?
Alors, tu as gagné l'UTMB, tu as gagné le CCC. Cette année, apparemment, tu vas faire la TDS. Du coup, en fait, comment ces courses-là comparent à celle-ci que tu vas faire ce week-end?
La TDS, ça reste un format ultra, donc j'aime bien ces formats de longue distance avec limité, métal. Après, c'est une course aussi autour vers le Mont Blanc, donc j'aime bien ces endroits. Ça reste magique. Et puis, donc l'événement de demain, ça va être assez particulier puisque c'est sous forme de relais, puis retraite, c'est une discipline qui est individuelle et on n'a pas souvent l'occasion de courir avec les copains et surtout dans de jolis endroits comme demain. Donc ça va être un bel événement.
So he says that the tedious race that he'll be racing this year is obviously an ultra trail race, and it's in an incredibly beautiful region at the foot of the Mont Blanc. And tomorrow's race compares and is different in the sense that it is in a relay format, and it's not often that runners do have the opportunity to run in relays and as part of a team. So he's really looking forward to that element of this event, and also the chance to be running with fellow Asics athletes here in such a beautiful region.
Thank you. And someone actually told me quite a good story about Xavi just before we get on to our last runner. He grew up in the mountains, I think in the Jura Mountains, Xavi region, and quite often his parents went to the refuge and they'd lose Xavi in the mountains, and they'd call up somewhere and they'd find him. He'd climbed, he was just climbing through the trails himself at 9 years old. And the local refuge would call back to the parents just to let them know, oh, Xavi's here, he's okay, we'll send him home soon. And our last runner is very important. It's a team event. Someone who had a really bad injury when they were in their younger career, were unable to walk for a while. Came back to running, won the 2011 CCC, and will be, came back from indestructible to a tough guy, and will be working as a substitute for Team Ultra Trails, Emmanuel Gold. Please. So yeah, you've been through a lot in your career in terms of coming back from injuries and tough things, and you're a bit of an indestructible guy. This question is more, how do you put those products to test? How do you make sure they're indestructible? How do you make sure they reach your high standards when you're on the mountains?
I'm not indestructible. Yes, but I'm very demanding, on my training and nutrition. And I'm very demanding also with materials, apparels, and so yes, I test it on very bad conditions if I can, on very difficult terrains, rocky terrains or things like that, and I try to find the detail on everything that I can to be better. That's it. So yes, as I do for my training or my nutrition. On apparel is the same thing. I try to find, or I'm very demanding on it to find something that can help. So a new idea or innovation. Yeah, that can just making the thing more fast.
Thanks, Manu.